You're mistaken, Miss Himiko. They are in very safe hands, and just as the family has always proclaimed, no one can be harmed in the dreamscape. Penacony and the entire universe have witnessed far too much innocent bloodshed. This natural selection. The world abides by this principle. Established.
So you've decided to resurrect a dead Eon? No one's ever done.
If Miss Himiko is interested, let's draw back the veil and speak candidly. I'm willing to divulge the unembellished truth as to the intentions of the Order's Pathstriders, so that you will make better judgment for the Astral Express, for Penacony. So, come with me, everyone.
Huh? Where'd he go?
Welcome. This isn't any location in Penacony's dreamscape. It's my inner world. The reason the scenery before you remains unchanged.
Did you do the same to Welt?
It's a tuning process. Stronger in effect and more draining on the mind. The gray-haired guest has experienced. Tuning allows you to intuitively grasp my feelings, which also means that I cannot hide anything from you. Now, everyone, please look at the... From this point on, you will witness the numerous decisions I've faced. I've selected, I believe, after going through similar predicaments. Let's begin. The first. This story happened when Robin and I were very young. We were victims of the Stellaron disaster, and the family's Mr. Gopher Wood, who would later become the Dream Master of Penacony, saw that we siblings had no one to turn later on. Robin and I lived a time with nary a care in the world. One day, that baby bird was tiny. It didn't even have all of its feathers. We decided to build a nest for it right there and then. It was clear that if we left the fledgling in the yard, we decided that when it regained its strength enough to spread its wings, we would release it back. Its destiny was... No. I pass the power of choice to you. Stick to the original plan, and build a nest with soft net where the Charmony dove fell. Or build a cage for it, and feed it, giving it... I eagerly await your answer. I'm happy to see that you made a choice similar to ours. We passionately nursed it back to health, preparing only the best food for it every day. We even preened its feathers. Later, on the day that Robin left Penacony, we opened the cage door and let it fly back into the... I watched it for a long while by the window, probably about 3 or so days. In those 3, finally, on the 137th attempt, it succeeded. But its attempt did not go perfectly. After flying unsteadily for a while, it fell to the ground, unable to... The fall shattered its wings. It writhed helplessly in my embrace. But it was all for naught, finally succumbing to a painful demise. And in that instant, I deeply regret the choices we made. Next, let us head to the second decision. This time, it's the story. This story happened when I was appointed as Bronze Melodia, a position exclusive to the Oak family, charged with listening to... It was during that period that I had the opportunity to hear voices from all corners of the dreams. He was a dream chaser and an illegal stowaway. Just like the rest of them, he told me, I sold everything I could at home. The house. He had a plan in place. He would buy back his children once he had made his fortune, and enjoy Penacony's beautiful dream. After hearing the Dream Chaser's story, I immediately appealed to the Bloodhound family to cease their pursuit. That way, at least he could live peacefully. I'll tell you the outcome soon. For now, I'd like you all to make a choice. Will you do as I did, and try to convince the Bloodhound family to stop their pursuit, so that the Dream Chaser may live peacefully and realize his wishes? Or will you remain silent, leaving him to languish while the Hound... I look forward to everyone's decisions. I'm honored to witness you arriving at the same decision. First, the outcome. He attained major success. After avoiding capture, he ran a business for a few years, very quickly making a name for himself, elevating his status. He might not have become a tycoon like old Audie, but he was considered a character of excellent repute. Now then, did he realize the wish he set out to achieve? He told me the reason he was in this predicament was because he conspired to usurp the head of the Alfalfa family. When I asked him about his two children, he instead responded with, in the end, my heart aligned with the harmony, and the good deed I dared to undertake held no value. As to your choice, I once again offer my heartfelt in the story this time. This story happened the day I was appointed the Oak family head. At that time, Mr. Gopher... What surprised me was that the Dream Master had only come to deliver a letter to me. The letter contained the usual pleasantries, anecdotes from her travels. Nothing out of the ordinary.
Do you know who wrote this?
My sister, of course. But why would you
To help you grasp the full scope of this issue. Do you know?
From what the letter indicates, she must be in Caspelina 8, correct?
Correct. Has she mentioned anything about
A stray...
a war has broken out on that planet? It is because of this very reason that Robin chose this destination. She hoped to ease the people's suffering with song, and was willing to brave mortal danger to deliver the item.
Is she all right?
If the operation was successful, by the eon above, the bullet struck her neck directly, yet possibly as a reward for her consistent deeds of harmony. It didn't hit
Those damned savages! I'll pack my bags right away. Now you understand why she always wears such elaborate neck ornaments.
How could this happen?
It's all in the past, so please don't worry. I share this in the meager hope that you will understand likewise. I've prepared one last question, because this is merely a figment of a Would you still support Robin's journey? I am now aware of everyone's stances. Raising these questions merely serves to illustrate one point. The plight of Penacony cannot be salvaged by the harmony. The true foundation for a sweet dream paradise. I know the suffering of being tormented. The turmoil of losing your way. How sorrow, and even despair, set in when matters don't work out. All of this causes me unending pain. We must teach the weak how to live a happy life. And this life isn't some noble propriety.
So what is your definition of...
Good question. Human consciousness is fundamentally an illusion, a cage known as self-worth. People lured in when one mistake after the next permeates the masses, they become impossible to trace. Thus, the amassing of these individual nature is always accompanied by predation and sacrifice. Its antithesis, that is what I want to do. Unite people's happiness under the banner of order. They won't need to make bitter choices any longer, nor... Simply describing thoughts is far too abstract. So allow me to provide a simple example. During these hard-earned rest days, people are given the chance to extricate themselves from the stresses of everyday life, and it is only on these days that people do not have to adhere to them. From where I stand, society's ideal system should be 7 rest days. Following Sunday, there should ensue a second, a third, and indeed an infinite procession of Sundays. This should be the... And thus, every person can return to their base selves in this utopia. Some gaze in reverence. There would be no need to bear the hardships of reality. Only in this way can humanity face the inevitable end with the purest of spirit. Living a life, Miss Firefly. You who are stricken with entropy loss.
It sounds... But...
The cost is minute, merely a personal and eternal sacrifice. If this paradise is to be maintained.
Awakening. Which means that this so-called paradise is still a dream. Stepping into this paradise means forsaking reality, correct?
It is not forsaking, but transcending. Flesh, blood, sorrow, weakness. If the physical is the root of spiritual suffering, it is only logical that we do.
But in this supposed bliss, people won't have defeated their demons. The chance to overcome their tribulations would be forever lost to them.
That's another way of understanding it. But there is no shame in escape. On the don't you agree, Miss Firefly? And as to why we sleep, it is because we are... But this is not in conflict with the grand plan. Only in acknowledging this can we
I admit that you are a born leader. But unlike you, I live for the self. From my perspective, individuals making choices for themselves is their birthright. The want to escape may be innate in the weak. But whether they are weak or not, it is perhaps in your mind. Because I don't think so.
Since Miss Firefly has said her piece, the Astral Express will also naturally give you... We'll leave it to you. Just as Mr. McHale instructed before.
What is this?
Does this place ring any bell?
I don't know.
It's the realm within a dream bubble. This was left to the Astral Express by a nameless. Dr. Edward from the Dreamscape sales store told me that dreams are formed from... So I thought you might be able to help us in unraveling this mystery, Misha. As a hotel dorm...
I don't know.
I'm counting on you.
Himeko, I still don't get it. Why were you so sure that Misha...
I wasn't sure. It was just a hunch. But since Misha feels familiar with this... Exactly. This is where you and Firefly encountered death, which we now know as dormancy. The question now is, who brought you here? We're drawing closer to the truth once more.
All right, but there are doors all over the place.
I guess... maybe... I'm not entirely sure, but... let's give it a try.
Wait, you managed to choose the right...
Weird. This place is... if I remember correctly, there should be a fireplace down... and the room on the other side was... hold on. This doesn't make sense.
This could be a case of amnesia. Don't worry, Misha. Since this place seems familiar to you, why don't we explore a few more rooms and see if you can recall?
Yeah, then let's...
Mikhail, that's the name. So, who...
I'm sorry. I don't...
Anything special?
Mikhail?
Grandpa?
But we haven't heard anything about the watchmaker having descendants. Could you tell us more about your grandpa?
Yeah, sure. He was a seafarer who fearlessly ventured into mysterious sea. He didn't want me to call him Grandpa because that would make him sound old. He believed he was still young. The name Mikhail was given to him by his parents. Every time he came back, he'd share his logbook with me and tell me...
It appears that the seafarer has nothing to do with the watchmaker. So, where is your grandpa now?
He went off on a new journey. And it's been... So, where has Clocky gone? Did he leave to protect Dreamville? Mikhail? I heard some noises from the...
You and Oregon...
Yeah. It's a member of the Compass crew. Just like Clocky, they follow Miss Mirror's orders and handle all...
Sailors?
Could you tell us more about the
The Compass is a ship bound for the New World. Clocky and his partners travel through layers of fog to the depths of the sea.
That's a great story, but...
Huh? Weird.
Perhaps.
I think I hear the sound of water.
You once mentioned there's a magnificent fountain up ahead. Look, there it is!
The water resembles every time I gaze at the...
Have you recalled any?
Yeah. He often said that those moments...
Hey, don't tease!
Perhaps every adventurer far from home carries a
Yeah. While Grandpa was at home, we would stand by the fountain and place the compass, a toy boat that I made, into the pool. Back then, I would ask...
It seems this Mikhail is truly a seafarer and has nothing to do with the watchmaker.
Yeah. Based on Misha's recollections, the scenes in the dream...
But this raises more questions. Could this be...
I'm sorry. Perhaps I'll... I wish to share your burden.
We're going to the opposite side, right?
No. We should turn left here.
Nice. Nice. Nice.
Huh? Something feels different about this place.
This is it. I remember this corridor. Up ahead is Grandpa's study. It was in that room. And
The atmosphere in this room.
Misha! You finally come!
Clocky, you're here!
Are those books on the bookshelf logbooks left behind by that seafarer?
Yeah. Whenever he came back, he described our world as a fountain. To ensure that everyone had on that day, he called me to his study, telling me that I asked him if I could go with him. But he said that my adventure...
What sound?
He told me about a vast ocean in the sky. An ocean... He said that he knew the crew on the train. And that he had asked them to...
A train?
It's the Astral Express. I remember... Then, he gave his pocket watch to me. It was his chair, he said. As long as the distant sound of a train...
Exactly, Misha! And then we followed that...
Yeah.
This is the dream jigsaw, right? So we're...
Do you remember? You said...
Hey, the shape...
Looks like we're just one step.
This is it. This, while I spent my time waiting for Grandpa to return from here, I learned how to repair clockwork and gears. Out of my...
So, this building in the dream bubble is your...
Yes, but this dream bubble itself...
Looks...
Wait. Why does it feel like everyone else knows something?
March, do you remember when he mentioned a clocky?
Yeah, the little guy here, right? But we also...
Looks like everyone on the Astral Express has a childlike...
The answer lies in the Astral Express. His experience shows that, and when we were in Dreamflux Reef, you may have noticed that for some reason, nobody outside of the crew... A mimetic life that can only be seen by a select few. It's just like...
But Misha can see Clocky too, right? They even grew up...
That's the key to the mystery, March. Now, have you ever seen anyone outside...
Wait.
That's the answer, March 7th. This dream bubble is the place. I should have stayed here and waited for you. But when reality and memories merged...
So it's not that the Watchmaker's dream bubble is empty, but rather, and the whistle you heard. was the sound of the express.
That's one way to see it, but I believe there's a longer story behind all this. How about we start with your name?
Thank you all for helping me rediscover my true self. I was born on Lushaka, in the Presmere system. Adopted by seafarers Mikhail and Char. They gave me a treasure. Mikhail Char Legwork. Or simply, Misha. If you prefer, you can call me by a more familiar name.
So, you're the watchmaker himself?
Unfortunately, that legendary. As for the child who has been with you, he's the innocent protagonist of Misha's childhood dream. Friend of Clonky. And this also marks the beginning of his
At the end of the journey, I left this little flame, which I so cherished. However, he somehow left the dream bubble and forgot all about his task. I apologize for all the...
Because he was born with a desire to trailblaze. I don't think Misha has forgotten his role as a guide. He remembered it, and that's why he mistakenly appeared as a host. The one who brought our unconscious friend here must have been Misha. If that's the case, we encountered the Watchmaker's legacy from the beginning, didn't we?
Well, I have a sarcastic friend who says I always take big detours and end up back where I started. Perhaps that, but in the end, you found me. I'm sure you're all wondering what my legacy is. If I may apologize, the Stellaron part is real. I left my homeland as a child and embarked on the journey of Trailblaze. I traveled to various planets until finally reaching Asdana. I've been moving forward all my life, doing what I could to overcome the obstacles in life. So, if you ask what's left within this worn-out train engine that can be called a legacy, I suppose it's the things that, now that you're well aware of the current situation of Penacony, I certainly hope that you'll help me get this world back on track. But I'll leave that decision to you, for the path of Trailblaze is never paved by others. All I have for you is a story and 2 gifts. I want to give you my pocket watch. It has accompanied me throughout my long journey, guiding that naive child, and my hat too. The one who navigated for me. Now, it's time for you to make your choice. Once you've made up your mind, open that door and enter. I'll be waiting for you at the end of this corridor of time.
All right, everyone, let's make a decision. Although I don't think anyone will have any objection.
Of course. We've come this far.
In that case, then let's proceed together to the end of this stream. Until...
Mikhail, where are you going?
Someone has to step up and save Lushaka. So why can't it be me, Misha?
Please don't go. And if you must, please take me with you. Don't leave me alone.
Even without me, you know how to proceed forward, brave Captain Misha. The compass is waiting for you. Now go! Board that train and...
Where are you going, Mikhail?
I'm going to clean the floor in the parlor car. I've promised the conductor.
Wait, first tell me, did you fix this watch?
Yeah.
I know what it looked like before. Its chain was broken, the back case torn, and the marks on the dial all worn out. How did you manage to fix?
Well, It's hard to explain. It's the hands, Mr. Amundsen. Its hands were intact and pointing in the right direction, so I knew there would be a way to fix the rest.
I see. You'll work with me from now on. Haven't you always wanted to tinker with this
But I only know how to fix what?
Don't worry. You've got what it takes.
Where are you going, legwork? It's time to head to our next stop. I'm staying in Astana. I see. This place reminds you the people of Astana have only achieved a tiny victory and still have a long way to go towards truth. Don't worry. Not all journeys lead to the stars. Even if I leave the Express. Yeah. I knew you wouldn't stay on the Express forever. This is Mr. Amundsen's hat. When he departed, he said he would leave it to his best student. Farewell, legwork. Take care of Tiernan and Rosalina.
Don't worry, Micah. Just going on a little trip. Someone has to be at the forefront of the interstellar frontier, and I'm the only former nameless in Penacony. So why can't it be?
Because you're all we have! Have you forgotten about Tiernan? The cosmos is way more dangerous now.
But what will happen to Penacony if we don't find a... Tiernan. How could I ever forget him? I've spent countless sleepless nights. We Nameless won't stop. Don't worry, Micah. It's just a matter of getting back to my... If I don't come back in one piece, then you'll become the next...
Where are you going, old man?
Oh, you're here.
Answer my question. What are you up to?
Relax, Gallagher. I just came up with...
Oh, come on! Aren't all your ideas just ways to get yourself killed? I may be blunt here. If you die too, the secret...
Yes. I'm afraid there's no way out in Penacony. So I'll have to consider... We'll organize a festival using the Watchmaker's legacy as a facade and send invitations.
So...
Desperate. Don't we have you here, my friend? This task is challenging, but what hasn't been challenging for us along the way? Make sure to send an invitation.
Misha! Where are you going?
Oh, it's you. Last night, I had a long dream about...
Write it down?
Oh, so I won't forget it.
Of course! You told me that when you were a kid, you lived in a room full of clocks. Those wall clocks and pocket watches grew up with you and were...
Yes, but what I didn't... I was a kid, and there was always a special pocket watch in my memories. It was with my... I wanted to have a pocket watch like...
Yeah. Every night.
But you know what? It wasn't until the day it was. So, your name should have been Compass, and the Watchmaker is just...
We've arrived at Dreamflux Reef. So, where to next?
You know, Clocky, I don't think I'll be going anywhere else. Traveled far enough. It's time for a little break.
Oh.
No, I'll stay here. And then... this.
This is... where it ends? You told me that the trailblazing
Yeah, that's what I said. So now, It's up to you to decide your next destiny.
My next destination? What's that supposed, Misha? You're acting weird today.
No, I'm not feeling down. As for clockwork, yeah, it resolves all problems in this dream. So, do you know what clockwork actually is? Well, everyone gets lost at times. They may hesitate and doubt which way to go. That happens but don't worry. Everyone goes through moments of uncertainty, and whether it's calming, joyful, angry, or sad. All they need is a little nudge to take that step toward where they truly belong. I'm leaving that little nudge with you, and I hope you'll share it with others. Such is the essence of clockwork, the will of the Trailblaze. Clocky's hands spin around non-stop, indicating confusion, frustration, and weakness. But ultimately, people still need to move forward.
Just like your hands, always pointing ahead. This is where my journey ends. From now on, it is your path to walk.
Trailblazing means taking paths your predecessors forswore, and venturing even further. The Penacony in Mikhail's dreams does not belong to Order.
I can't believe that Eon would cast a glance at Penacony at a time like this. Is it because of the resonance from the legacy of the Trailblaze? Or perhaps the bond between you is so strong that it even impresses an Eon?
Well, there might be another possibility. Perhaps they want to witness, on behalf of the fallen Eons, who will hold the future of Penacony.
If that's the case, on behalf of the Dream Master of Penacony and the 107,336 members of the Oak family, I'm extending a formal I'm cordially inviting you all to the Penacony Grand Theater to participate in the upcoming Charmony Festival. And, of course, since the future of the Stellaron, Penacony, and even the entire cosmos is at stake, if you truly believe in Akavili's path, then show me their courage and determination.
need a strategy. Time to test our rapport. Dreams do come true.
Enemy targets detected.
Do you admit this crime?
Commencing support. Ready for another?
It's time.
Enemy data secured. Net markers activated. Time for a good old counterattack.
In the mood for another big... Nice like a good, my friends. Indulge yourselves!
I'll catch up. The mood is set just right. Let the show begin!
Do you admit?
How's this taste?
Take your positions.
By the order of the 10, execute the Marastruck! Knew I missed the Marastruck.
We have the upper hand. Ready for another?
It's time.
Time to mix things up.
Thanks for the support.
Nice like a good, my friends. Indulge yourselves!
Let's improvise.
Step up, let's see ya.
Enemy data secure. Net markers activated. Time for a good old counterattack.
Stay in step.
Enemy targets ready for another?
In the mood.
Do you admit?
The mood is set. Let the show begin!
Commencing support.
Nice.
that mean he wants to fight?
I'm afraid so.
This is weird. Aren't arc villains?
Well, in my opinion, I sensed a strong that's why he'll give it his...
Yeah, you're right.
Anyway, we can't leave the Stellaron unchecked. This, now that we've taken up the mantle...
However, this ain't a desire to dream. To slum, they've harnessed the will of an entire planet to create an Eon. This confrontation is far more complicated than a simple power struggle. To secure Penacony's future, fighting on the stage.
What do you mean?
I believe fire...
Before I left, the Destiny Slave told me that this journey would bring unforgettable rewards. Because one of the lines said...
3 times?
The first time was a painful death when I was stabbed by the Blade of Dormancy, which led to all subsequent events. So now I've understood the meaning of my second death. And I am prepared to face it. Only by achieving victory in this battle can we secure a future for Penacony.
The most terrible form?
The true death. Where everyone in Penacony
We must do everything we can to prevent that.
Have you made up your mind?
Yes.
Thank you again for your assistance for the Astral Express. May we meet again, in reality.
Yeah. Farewell, everyone. May. I dreamed of a scorched earth.
Everyone, are you ready?
A new shoot sprouted from the earth. It bloomed in the morning sun and whispered to me. Like fireflies to a flame, life begets death. May we meet again in reality.
After today, Japella's name will disappear from cosmic history, and the Everflame Mansion will take its place. In the not-too-distant, that's your next stop.
Land of the dreams.
I hope you find whatever you need.
You mean my 3 deaths?
Silverwolf told me about it.
Well, I want to live. I'm never afraid of death. People die. And I am no exception. We have to choose.
Do you exist just to
Are you not the same, Blade? If I were to die now, I would only be a weapon, though its definition escapes me. Isn't this the answer that the tombstone that belongs? It will bear the name.
That's quite unexpected, old man. Who would have thought you're crazy? I can sense that this false, sweet dream is coming to an end. The Nameless may be young, but they had the ability. It's a shame you won't be able to see it firsthand. Maybe I won't either. Want something fictional, yeah. Not just those Nameless. Even Mr. Wings is just like you. Stubborn, won't listen or give up, no matter what. Well, but in the end, we managed to do it. Now we can find solace. Well, I don't know if they really meant it, but if longing for, then I'll be joining you soon, you old fool. Let's get together and have supper again in hell. Oh, here's to you. A glass to the imperfect.
It's warm here, isn't it? You're lucky to have found shelter from the rain.
I was just following the scent of life. It's a shame these berries don't have much.
Seriously? it becomes. Have you lost your sense of taste?
I can still... Before coming here, I stopped by a place called Orkron. The flavor wasn't exactly sweet, but don't worry about it. Losing oneself...
Well, congratulations on adding... By the way, are you all...
No, I had a companion in Orkron. She's a short, nameless girl who aspired to explore IX. She always said she'd walk a path deeper and farther than Akavilis. She...
Well...
Condolences. I don't need them. The girl left with a smile. She never regretted her choice, and most...
That's proof that you're Greek.
Or perhaps I'm just afraid.
Afraid? I rarely...
I'm afraid I'll forget the 30 days I spent with her. Just like all the other days in my life. Most of them, I fear that those vivid red memories will fade away too.
Hard to imagine. A ranger accustomed to bloodshed.
Because I have experienced this warmth many times. Long ago, as long as this red color still lingers. In the end...
The one blessed by the sleeping and shapeless is considering how to kill them. But you're right about one thing. After spending so much time near this stagnant water.
When will this rain?
Perhaps when the sorrows of the departed have finally quieted.
Have you heard of a planet named Biari Scamandros, Don Hung? It's one of the Paradise Kingdoms under the influence of the Harmony. A sought-after wonder half an amber era ago, the family held an unprecedented festival there.
Do you think the same thing will happen on Penacony?
Yes. Or how else can we explain it? The family deliberately used...
Because of the nihility, I'm rarely affected by the power of other paths. But somehow I can unconsciously infiltrate them.
I would disagree. Biari Scamandros is not part of the credit system or connected to the Silver Rail. It's nothing more than a remote civilization sheltered by the Harmony. If the family messes with Penacony, that would be like declaring war on almost half of the factions in the cosmos.
No, they don't. If they...
What do you mean?
The path in Penacony is impure.
Do you remember the ancient swarm disaster? Tazeront, the propagation, brought endless havoc to the universe. 2 paths lost their eons in that war. The propagation and the order. Coincidentally...
Shipe, the Harmony. Legend has it that they participated in the crusade against the Imperator Insectorum, and devoured Anna the Order for unknown reasons.
Holy forgaroni. So you're saying that the 2 leaderless paths are working behind the scenes?
But I don't see any descendants of the propagation in Penacony. Could it be that the remnants of Beyond the Sky...
I can't say for sure, but they're definitely planning something.
Holy wubba-boo. Now, this is getting way too complicated. Is this why you want us to leave Astana right away? Are you giving up?
The Charmony Festival will start soon. There's one thing that I need to...
Time is... I have another plan.
Hold on. Are you thinking of using the...
Exactly. The assistance from the Lawfu Cloud Knights would be enough.
Think it over carefully. You can only use that once in your lifetime.
I have considered it thoroughly. My companions are...
Are you the only one here, my adventure.